Hello friends, today I want to talk about something many of us carry quietly, an apology that never came. Perhaps someone hurt you deeply. Perhaps they lied. Perhaps they betrayed your trust. Perhaps they walked away without explanation. Perhaps they knew exactly what they had done and simply chose silence. And maybe, without even realizing it, part of your life has been waiting ever since. Waiting for a phone call, waiting for a conversation, waiting for acknowledgement, waiting for justice, waiting for someone to finally say, "I was wrong. I hurt you. I'm sorry." For many of us, healing becomes tied to that moment. We tell ourselves, when they apologize, then I can move on. When they understand what they did, then I can find peace. When they admit the truth, then I can finally let this go. But what happens when that day never comes? What happens when the apology never arrives? What happens when the person who wounded you refuses to see the wound? That is where many people become trapped. Not because of what happened, but because they are still waiting. The truth is that waiting has a cost, a hidden cost, a cost that is often paid quietly over months and years. Every time we replay the conversation, every time we imagine what we would say if we saw them again, every time we rehearse the apology we wish they would give, every time we revisit the hurt hoping for a different ending, we spend emotional energy. We carry a weight that was never meant to become part of our identity. What began as a wound slowly becomes a residence. And before long, we are no longer carrying the pain. The pain is carrying us. The difficult thing about resentment is that it feels productive. It feels like we are holding someone accountable. It feels like we are refusing to let them get away with what they did. But resentment rarely punishes the other person. Most of the time, it punishes the one carrying it. It steals peace, it steals joy, it steals presence, it steals years. And often the person we are waiting on has already moved on with their life. Meanwhile, we remain emotionally attached to a chapter that should have ended long ago. I know this is difficult to hear, because some wounds are real, some betrayals are devastating, some losses change us forever. Forgiveness is not pretending otherwise. Forgiveness is not saying the pain didn't matter. Forgiveness is not calling evil good. Forgiveness is not allowing abuse. Forgiveness is not abandoning healthy boundaries. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is not excusing. Forgiveness is not reconciliation at all costs. Forgiveness is something deeper. It is the decision to stop carrying what is killing you. It is the decision to release your future from the prison of your past. It is the choice to stop giving another person's actions authority over your peace. One of the hardest truths I have learned is this: some apologies never come. Some people never understand. Some people never acknowledge the damage they caused. Some people never change. And if our healing depends on their transformation, then our healing may never begin. But thankfully, God does not require another person's repentance before beginning your restoration. God is not waiting for their apology. God is not waiting for their understanding. God is not waiting for their permission. God is available right now, in the middle of your disappointment, in the middle of your grief, in the middle of your unanswered questions. Jesus said, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Notice what he did not say. He did not say, "Yeah, come back when they apologize." He did not say, "Come back when justice arrives." He did not say, "Come back when the situation is resolved." He simply said, "Come," because God's healing begins where our waiting ends. The reality is that closure is often an inside job. Not because what happened was acceptable, but because your future is too valuable to leave in someone else's hands. You deserve peace. You deserve freedom. You deserve to wake up in the morning without carrying yesterday's burden. You deserve to laugh again, to trust again, to dream again, to live again. Not because someone finally apologized, but because God is teaching you how to release what you cannot control. So today I want to leave you with 3 questions. Who are you still waiting for? What are you hoping they will give you? And what would healing look like if you stopped waiting today? Take a moment and sit with those questions. You may discover that the door to freedom has been standing open all along. You simply believed someone else was holding the key. Before we finish, I want you to know that if you are walking through this journey, you are not alone. I created a free prayer guide called 5 Prayers for When the Apology Never Comes. It was written for people carrying the weight of unresolved hurt and searching for peace. You can download it using the link below. And if this message encouraged you, please consider subscribing and joining me for future reflections on healing, forgiveness, faith, and restoration. Thank you for spending these moments with me. May God give you peace for what cannot be changed. May He heal what still hurts. And may He remind you that your future does not belong to the person who wounded you. It belongs to Him. Grace and peace.